So Elizabeth Warren is eyeing Kamala Harris as a VP, as is Joe Biden. But more than anybody, Elizabeth Warren has actually made certain remarks about why Kamala Harris is so great and how she used to work with her. And let me see. We have the video right here, Johnny.
That independent one right there.
No, it's not. It's this one right here. It's not. It's right there. But let me just kind of read over what Elizabeth Warren says. So Warren added that she and Harris have a long history of working together. And she said well before Harris was a senator, she said, I started working with Kamala back during the housing crisis when she was Attorney General of California and I was setting up the consumer agency. And boy, was she a tough advocate for families. And though Harris is no longer running for president, she'll still be fulfilling duties as a senator, and Warren thinks we'll be seeing a lot more of Harris in the future. Kamala's terrific, Warren said, and I guarantee we're going to hear a lot more of Kamala Harris in a lot of different ways. So this, she said on The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell, which airs weeknights at 11 on MSNBC. And here's the video, which is a 30-second. At 30 seconds, Johnny, she starts talking about
campaign. Your colleague, Senator Kamala Harris, was forced to drop out, having trouble financing her campaign. She's nowhere near the lowest in the polls. There's plenty of people below her in the polls who are still in it. A lot of talk of Kamala Harris as a possible vice presidential candidate. Would she be on your short list already?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, Kamala Harris would be on any Democrat short list. Huh. She's smart. She's competent. She's got this terrific voice. And look what she did. I started working with Kamala back during the housing crisis when she was Attorney General of California and I was setting up the consumer agency. And boy, she was a tough advocate for families. And watch what she did during the Kavanaugh hearings, holding our attorneys general accountable, going after Barr, going after Sessions. Kamala's terrific. And I guarantee we're going to hear a lot more from Kamala in a lot of different ways in the coming time.
I want to take a quick look at...
I would say she's canceled, fam, but she's already been canceled for me, Elizabeth Warren. I mean, seriously.
I mean, a lot of people, I recall back in the day were like, oh, yeah, Elizabeth Warren is a progressive. She'd be great. She'll probably pick Bernie. And it's like, no, she won't. She was never going to do that. She's eyeing people like Kamala because, number one, it's a woman of color. That's the identity politics right there. Number two, Kamala's still establishment and has also had the audacity to run as a progressive, even though she's not. And people outside of California didn't really know much about her until, of course, that Tulsi exposed her, and a lot of black and brown people who have been hurt by her exposed her, and her own record exposed her. And so, so for Elizabeth Warren to be, she could have just shut her mouth, even if she did like Kamala, and she would have been better off. But now that she's openly, talking about Kamala being so great and so wonderful and blah, 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 it's like, no, lady, if you become anywhere near the presidency, we're not gonna, we're not gonna like it. And whether it's Joe Biden or Elizabeth Warren or whoever it is, Kamala Harris as a VP would be terrible in general. It would probably ensure 100% a Donald Trump victory. And it just goes to show that Elizabeth Warren has never been a progressive. So I don't understand why some people on TYT continue promoting this idea that Elizabeth Warren is a progressive, that she's still great, that she is structurally going to change things. She's not.
I mean, seriously, I would not vote for Bernie Sanders if he picked Kamala Harris.
That's another thing.
I mean, so I don't think I would do it. I would really feel like so betrayed. I'd feel awful. Yeah. I'd feel like, okay, now I don't know what's going on. Who's putting you up to this? Because I know he wouldn't on his own recognizance. You know what I'm saying? So if, in fact, she is a VP in any way, shape, or form, I will not be voting for her. She is the epitome of what a bad Democrat is, establishment Democrat that is just so awful on policy. She was awful as a senator, as an AG. I mean, what are you talking about, Elizabeth Warren? Steve Mnuchin, okay, she's not been taking on anybody. The San Onofre thing, there's truancy, there's time and time after again. This is why she's off that stage, because she was an awful candidate. And for you to praise her, Elizabeth Warren, just even further It shows me that you're just not a serious fucking progressive, and you never were.
Exactly, absolutely. And I think some people, even some Bernie supporters, were like, well, maybe Kamala Harris should be the VP because, I mean, that'll get, the black. No, it won't. No, it won't. We need to stop thinking like that. We need to stop thinking like, oh, the strategy is to get people of color based on only symbolism. That is not actual economic change for these people who are poor. If you only focus on the color of people's skin with no economic ties or no economic policy that actually helps them, if you promote somebody that's not going to support the same kind of policy as Bernie Sanders, you're looking at it in a very superficial, very like myopic way. You're not thinking big picture, and that just doesn't work anymore. That kind of thinking is what got us here in the first place. And if you don't want to repeat of Donald Trump, you have got to stop thinking like that.
Yeah.